Hey guys, Savannah here. So, in the last episode, I gave you a quick overview of Ayurveda and the three doshas. In this one, I'm going to briefly go over Vata, Pitta, and Kapha foods. Um, I'm not going to go extensively into them. I have this book, The Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda, by Sahara Rose, she's who I've been telling you about in previous videos that I learned all of my Ayurveda stuff from. If you don't know your doshas, go to her website, I am Sahara Rose and .com, and take her dosha quiz and find out your doshas so that you can bring them back into balance if you're experiencing imbalances, which most of us are in some form. But this is her book. So she's accredited to all of this. I'm just going to vaguely go over them. I'm not going to go over them in detail because there are 8 pages per dosha of food. So I'm just going to briefly graze over each one. So vatas are like we spoke in the last video. That's air and ether, so space, and the characteristics are dry. Um, what else? I don't know. um, Cold, dry, rough. So you're gonna avoid. So foods are going to either increase or decrease those qualities depending on the food item. Okay, so all of your processed foods, your snacks are mostly all gonna be Vata. They're dry and they're like crackers and chips. Those types of things are Vata foods. So those are going to increase your Vata. Um, Sahara talks a lot about the Vata imbalance that we face in America these days. Um, Everyone wants to be Vata. Everyone wants to be thin and wispy, and this leads to a lot of fad diets that increase Vata energy. But if your body isn't made for that, then it can also cause a lot of problems. Um, if if your prakriti is a kapha, so if you're more kapha than vata, and you start getting all of these vata foods, it's going to throw your body off balance, and you're going to see a lot of negative repercussions from that. So to balance out vata, you want to avoid more vata foods like the crackers and the dry stuff and the cold, rough, raw stuff. You want to make sure your fruits and veggies are mostly cooked, if they can be, because they're gonna increase vata if they're not and whatnot. So yeah, cooked apples, fresh apricots, avocados, ripe bananas, coconuts, dates, figs, grapefruit, pineapples, yada yada. Just lists of fruits and veggies. You do want to avoid raw apples, green bananas, dry dates, and dried fruit. Um, the wetness of a lot of the fruits are gonna help vata too, because vata is dry, so you want wet coming in as opposed to dry. Um, Vegetables, black olives, cooked onions, cooked peas, spinach, squash, small amounts of chilies, cooked carrots. Because once again, raw is going to increase all of that. Um, Vatas should reduce any raw vegetable, especially cruciferous. So, your cauliflowers and your broccoli and the cruciferous ones. Um, they should avoid cold, dry, and puffed grains. Um, I don't know what they would consider as puffed grain. I'm not a grain expert. Um, Legumes and beans and stuff are going to increase Vata. But it says that easy to digest legumes for Vatas are uh, mung beans, split mung beans or mung dal, tofu served hot. Um, but pretty much all other beans and legumes are gonna increase Vata and cause like more gassiness and whatnot, which is Vata. That's a Vata imbalance. Ayurveda is very, very pro dairy, but Ayurveda was also created. I got something buzzing around my head. Um, Thousands of years ago, when the whole world was a lot purer than it is now. Nowadays, our dairy is really contaminated between all of the hormones that they inject the cows with, to the steroids, to the vaccines, to the grains they feed them, to the everything. Okay, and then they take that, and that's just starting at the cow. And then they take the milk from the cow and they process it and they essentially kill everything good in it, and then they put additives in it, put more sugar in it. So the dairy that Ayurveda recommends is not really the dairy that we have today. So that you know that's a hard thing. You're gonna have to research the pros and cons of dairy yourself, uh, and make a decision for you. I don't recommend it. Sahara doesn't recommend it. She's vegan. Um, and there's a lot of, what's the word, pros, benefits to cutting out dairy. But Ayurveda does support dairy. All that being said. But Vata should avoid frozen yogurt, ice cream, non-organic products, and powdered milk. But things that are good, or dairy that is beneficial to Vatas, are goat's milk, cheese, yogurt, kefir, and ghee. Any raw nut and seed is great for vodkas, Vatas. But roasted and salted are not. Once again, with animal products, Ayurveda recommends a mostly plant-based diet. They do say that the sick and the warriors of the culture could benefit from meat because it gives them an extra amount of energy or something, protein and whatnot, but that the average person would benefit greatly from a mostly plant-based diet. And we see that more these days too, due to the same reasons that I went over with the dairy. It's not organic, it's not grass-fed, it's grain-fed and pumped with all sorts of stuff and then processed and whatnot. That being said, it says that Vatas should favor beef, chicken, or turkey, especially dark meat, eggs, and fish. They should avoid lamb, pork, rabbit, the white meat in turkey, and venison. Oils that Vata should favor are almond oil, extra virgin pure olive oil, extra virgin raw coconut oil, mustard oil, sesame oil. Avoid canola oil, corn, palm oil, and peanut oil. Sweeteners they should avoid are cane juice or syrup and white sugar. Favor coconut sugar, dates, honey, maple syrup, monk fruit sweetener, and stevia. Birchwood xylitol. Spices they should avoid or use in moderation are cayenne, chili powder, fenugreek, horseradish, and neem. And that's all the Vata stuff. So with pittas, it's gonna, maybe I should, that was a 10-minute video. Okay. So that was for Vatas. We're gonna make another separate video for Pitta and Kapha. I didn't realize it would take so long. Okay, so make sure you subscribe, like, share, turn on notifications, all of the things. I know this is a lot to go over and it's kind of hard to follow in video form. I will take all of this information and put it into the Body Buddha directory that you can find under courses at earthandwater.co. And that way you have it all written down and in list format so that it's easier to follow. And so I'll go do another video or two on the Pitta and the Kapha.